Hello, beautiful people. Welcome back. So, how does what people loosely refer to as magic, how does it really work? Let's put some common sense in it beyond speculations and spookiness. What we're about to talk about is what people knew during the quote medieval times or during the witch hunt times, whereby they were referred to as witches. So, when it comes to magic, magic is nothing but science. Whenever you do something like burn an incense, that flower, that tree, that bark, that stem, that seed, like John the Conqueror root, or alligator pepper, or that cinnamon that you're burning, all those things have something called chemical structure. And they also have something called atomic structure. And what chemical structure and atomic structure does is they are the building blocks of what makes something what it is. Just like you will write a computer program and you will delete something, what happens when you use certain herbs and roots for certain things loosely called magic in today's world is you are taking the chemical, aka alchemical structure, and the atomic structure of that specific embodiment, that essence of reality, and you are merging it with yours. So essentially, you're taking bits and pieces of it, whereby if you were to remove this oxygen from this phosphorus pentoxide structure, remove one oxygen and it turns into something else. If you were to remove one phosphorus from this atomic structure, it becomes something else. This is precisely and exactly what you're doing when you mix certain roots, certain herbs, when you take sand, salt, when you take honey, when you take flowers, when you take resins and gums, aka plant intelligence. When you use plant intelligence or animal intelligence, which the science of animal intelligence you would usually find amongst so-called West Africans, and you will find plant intelligent use in them also. When you take plant intelligence, the chlorophyll in it is synonymous with the carbon or melanin in the human body, which is basically the medium that acts as a catalyst to make things work. What you're doing is you're taking the atomic structure of that chlorophyll and the atomic structure of that specific plant. You're taking in each aspect of it, like this end, you will take it and you will add it to yours. That is deliberately what you're doing when you're using plants. In other words, the building blocks of what makes the reality of a specific plant, which gives a certain attribute that the wise men and women in the past have studied. They know that if you take these building blocks on a chemical level and you add it to yours, it has certain outward influence as to what your intent is. So now, just like people would take drugs, the only reason why even something as simple as Tylenol or a sleeping medicine, NyQuil, what that does and the only reason why it works is because it changes the building blocks of chemical composition in your body to have that effect. Otherwise, when you take that Tylenol, you wouldn't be able to feel numb. It kills some of the neural pathways in your body to stop you from feeling pain by changing and altering the chemical composition, the chemical building blocks of your body. In your case, when you take certain plants, plant intelligence, or certain types of aspects of certain things like animal intelligence, what you're doing is you are changing the building blocks of your reality, literally, actually, with you being the access code to it, and you're getting what you need based on your intent. Like you would take a file on your desktop, you would delete it and put it in the trash, and then you will restore it. You're literally changing and removing information as you wish. Reality is very mutable. Mutability is why all is mind. Mutability is what the 7 Hermetic principles are built upon, even though they're more, but the 7 major ones is what they're built upon. Correspondence, polarity, rhythm, gender, the fact that all is mind, vibration, cause and effect. Rather than you responding to the effect or you being the effector, you becomes the causer. You control the causation by rearranging the building blocks of what makes up you and reality. Because everything that exists outward in the cosmos also exists in you. Therefore, if you change the building blocks of chemical and atomic structure of how things work by using the plants that the divine creator has put here on earth for us to use, you change the building blocks of reality, which is outside of you. As above, so below, as within, so without. You become the causer of effect. This was the science that was known by your progenitors and my progenitors, so much so that they were loosely called magicians, so much so that they were loosely called witches. It's nothing spooky. It's just science. Science beyond the mundane. These chemical structures are just that you are looking at. It's just the mere depiction of something that's greater. And within this chemical structure, if you compose it in a certain way, like you compose the scores of a musical note, you can do the same thing with atomic structure and chemical structure, deliberately, willingly, knowingly. Remember, it's a science now, it's not speculation. When you compose it a certain way, you can deliberately cause certain things to occur. When you begin to do that, you have mastered the principle of cause and effect. And by virtue of that, your rhythm will change. By virtue of that, you'll be able to consecrate yourself to the polarity of what you choose. By virtue of that, the vibration of reality merges with yours. What reality? Whatever you want based on your intent. Whatever your intent is of what you're doing, you assimilate with that vibration. And thus, the good things begin to correspond with you in your favor. This is simply what people loosely call magic. This is simply what it is. It is just science. You are programming things on a molecular, chemical, and an atomic level by using the tools that is easily and readily available at your disposal in everyday life. In your science school, in your science class, they'll tell you that salt has this chemical composition, carbon has this chemical composition. Well, what about you? Your teacher will tell you everything about everything else, but what about you? And more importantly, do you know the reason why they don't tell you about you? Because when they begin to tell you about you, you will realize that everything you're made up is the exact same thing those things that you're talking about is made up. Everything you will ever find outside of you already exists within you. So now the discerning student who thinks in an intelligent manner, the next question, the reasonable question that will be left is, so if everything is outside of me that you're showing me about it being composed a certain way, if it exists a certain way, does that mean I can consecrate with myself? Well, you can do the exact same thing with reality. Did you know that? You can deliberately, knowingly, and willingly change the building blocks of reality. Just like you would change the building blocks of any given computer program to make it behave a certain way. Like you would sit down, change the coding, remove the /, manually insert something, and then watch it play out. You can do the same thing. And that is what people loosely call magic. But really, when it comes down to it, it's that and your intent. It is as simple as that. If your mind is clear and your mind is right, then you have nothing to fear. The people on the other end, though, when it's time to go to work on that spiritual level, maybe they do. But you, on the other hand, if your hands are clean and your heart is pure, the similitude of reality is bound to work for you, because that is what it's there for. For the Bible lovers who are quick to talk about the devil, it tells you, Genesis 1:29, and God said, behold, I have given you every herb bearing seed which is upon the face of all earth, and every tree in which is the fruit of tree yielding seed. To you it shall be for meat. This meat is not just for chewing on and having the experience of eating, tasting it, smelling it, and going, good, and then pooping it out. No. Revelation 22:2. In the midst of the streets of it, and in the earth side of the river, was there the tree of life, which bears 12 manners of fruit, and yielding her fruit every month. And the leaves of the tree were for the healing of the nation. These 12 manners of fruit it speaks of are the 12 planetary bodies in our solar system. The word plant and planet are the same thing. The word plants and planets are the exact same thing. Many people would like to say there's only 7 planets or 9 planets in our solar system. But no, there's more. Those who are into astrology and cosmology and cosmogony know better. Because if there were not more than 7 or 9 planets within our solar system, then we would not have 12 months in a year, because each of those months correspond with a certain zodiac, and each of those zodiac corresponds with a certain planet. So if we have 12 months within a year, then that means there's definitely more than 7 or 9 planets within our solar system, because the sun is the medium that which we use as the central point to measure time, hence 12 months. Then that means there are 12 bodies that are circulating and following that sun, not 7 or 9, and in some cases more than 12. And the Bible gives you the jewel of those 12 right there in black and white. These 12 manners of fruit relates to the 12 specific type of plants that are corresponded to the 12 specific types of planets that have 12 specific attributes. And synonymous aspect of that are the 12 disciples and the 12 layman's awareness to the 12 zodiacs. If there is any state of disease, whether physical or that which you can't see, you can heal it using herbs and root. Every moving thing that lives shall be meant for you, and even the green herb have I given to you things. Then it goes on and on and on and some more. These herbs and roots have way more power. Those things called weeds that grow in the summer, that slips through the concrete, as flimsy as it is, it would crack a whole concrete. That should tell you that that thing defies whatever we think we're doing. As strong as concrete is, a mere flimsy weed will crack through it. That thing is growing there for a reason. You step on it, you pour chemical on it. If only you knew what you could do with those to assist yourself with your daily activities. It grows in abundance around you. What about during the winter, when all the plants go to sleep? No, they don't. No, they don't go to sleep. In fact, only certain types of plants grow during winter that are meant to be used for certain things. The ebbs and the flow of reality, the similitude of nature, is there for us to use. What people call magic, what people call witchcraft, it's truly and really just that simple. It's not as complex, it's not as scary, it's not as spooky, it's not as out of this world as people think. Is there more to it? Sure, there always is. But on the most basic level, it's just a change of the building blocks of chemicals, which affects reality. It's just a change of the building blocks of atoms on a molecular level, which affects reality. That is simply what arts and craft is all about. Hey, I'm inviting you to come and join my Patreon if you haven't. Over there we speak about things we don't talk about on YouTube. We speak about privacy, we speak about trademarks, the USPS, and how they use trademark products to basically subrogate you. We speak about things of spiritual nature. We speak about UCC related matters. We speak of how to sue people, audits. We speak of property rights, copyrights. We speak about child support, loans, commerce. We speak about the intricacies of the different types of corporation and how they use it against you. We go over the laws and the verbiage of copyrights. We go over how to create copyrights and trademarks, how to sue people, the intricacies of actual fraud, corporate veil, how it's used against you, how your trust cannot be pierced, the private side of court beyond the commerce. We speak of how to protect your asset and how to enforce it against people. We speak about discharge, different types of discharge according to satisfaction, how to go after their oath and bond, how to get their oath and bond, especially on a federal level. We speak of how to create private profiles. We speak of many things regarding privacy in the Fourth Amendment, how to sue them, the different types of suits and relief, how to establish probable cause. We speak about copyleft and how it's in fact full faith and credit. We speak about the common laws, public act, session laws. We speak of GSA bonds, how to fill them out, how to put your vehicle in trust, how to not qualify for taxation, and many good study tools, and many more to come in the future.